From the MassRealty Communications team, here to talk with Jannelle Codianni from ātac, which is a downtown arts and music center in Framingham. So I'm super excited because this is our first interview with an arts center so far. And just like all the wonderful museums that we've seen and talked about, it provides an important cultural element for the community, but as well, it's a place for discovery, expression, and so much more that the arts bring to us. So I want to let Jannelle tell us a little bit more about that because she's the expert. So thank you so much for joining us today. And could you introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. I'm Jannelle Codianni, as you said, and I'm the executive director of ātac, Downtown Arts and Music, formerly known as Amazing Things Arts Center. And I have been the director there for almost 2 years. So half of that time has been during COVID, but we've been around since 2005, and I'm really excited for the future.
Right, awesome. Yeah, it's a complicated time to start being the director, but I'm sure it's given you a lot of opportunity to work your creative outlets and trying to make things work.
Yes.
All right, well, excellent. Thank you for that introduction. Before we get into the center specifically, can you just tell us why is it important that a community has access to the arts in general?
It's a really great question, and it's one that people don't ask enough of why the arts are really important to small communities, to large communities, communities within larger communities. The reason why the arts are so important to have access to is multifold. One, here's the one that everybody's always interested. It is an attraction, an economic driver. The arts are a huge industry that creates a vehicle for all other kinds of industries to make money and revenue and build the name of a community. So that's kind of the one everybody's always interested in, is like, what do you bring back?
Right.
But the other reason is that small community art centers are the incubators of creative talent and possibility within communities. And so spaces like ātac are smaller, they're community driven, they have a variety from professionals where people within the community can see professionals, but also a place where those individuals can try their own creative talent and become inspired. And that incubates creative talent within our communities that goes out into the world to make a difference, essentially, and also to bring that creative and reflective power back into our communities.
Right, that's a beautiful answer. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, somewhere, a place for growth and a place for people to be able to express themselves in the way that they want to, I guess, and maybe experiment a little more on a smaller scale too sometimes. Yeah. Okay, excellent. That's so great. So what is ātac and what is the center for anybody that hasn't heard of you guys before?
Yeah, so ātac is a small visual and performing arts center. We have a theater. Well, I should say we are in a historic firehouse that was built in the 1800s. So our theater is where the engines, and even before that, the horses were. And it seats, in normal times, about 135 people. We have a small stage, but a professional looking space. And then we have 3 galleries. So we have a gallery in our performance space. We have one on the second floor, the Gallery 160. And then we also curate a gallery in collaboration with Exhibit A Brewing Company offsite. We host professional events, film. We do a series of community events, including artist talks and open mics, gallery receptions, and jazz jams, and we do artist markets, and we are currently funding a couple of mural projects, or supporting a couple of mural projects, and some outdoor public works as well. So that's basically who we are.
Right.
We do.
So offering a lot of different stuff in a lot of different spaces as well, and not just inside your building, but throughout the rest of the community too.
Yes, and that has been the outsider building, the gallery we've curated for a number of years, but we've learned a lot, obviously, in the past year, and making sure that we bring programs out to people has become an even higher priority. So we have a summer movie series that's offsite, and we're working with some other local groups to collaborate on offsite projects.
Right, that's cool. Yeah, it's definitely good to have in different spaces, and maybe some people wouldn't necessarily know to come out to see you guys, but if there's an event in a different space and it raises some awareness as well and gets them more involved in the rest that's going on.
Yeah.
Cool, that's so interesting. We actually just did a chat with Exhibit A the other day as well, so this is a great video to pair up. If anybody hasn't seen that, you can check that out on our YouTube page as well, so very exciting.
They're incredible. They are an incredible community partner, not to plug Exhibit A Brewing, but not only do we do that gallery with them, but they've definitely been present for a number of our outdoor events and stuff. So they're a really, they just really mean it. You know, they're really in the community, making sure that everybody's lifted up from the work that they do. It's great.
So great. You guys are doing some awesome collaborations. That's excellent. So along those lines, then, what is the main what is the main mission then of ātac?
So our mission, condensed, is to create community through the arts and to support artists within the region and bring the region art from outside as well. So our main mission, though, is to connect people with arts as a vehicle,
right?
Which we attempt to do throughout all of those programs.
Okay, that's excellent. Amazing. So then, can you tell us a little bit about the history of ātac? You did mention that you changed the name recently, but just how did it get started? Some of the different things that have happened along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So Amazing Things Art Center was founded in 2004 by Michael Moran, who's local from Natick. And it was originally in the Saxonville, which is on the other side of Framingham, in a little storefront. And after a couple of years with shows lined up around the block, they realized that they needed a larger space. And this building, which is a city-owned building, became available, and there was a request for proposals. And so in 2007, with an approval from the then town, Framingham has only been a city for a few years, they were approved to move in. There was a number of fundraising and volunteers that adapted the space to be able to support a theater. And since then, it's been in this space, since 2007, which is in downtown Framingham, with plenty of parking. And so it has traditionally, it's a multi-genre venue. And so it has traditionally supported folk music, jazz, blues, Americana, world music. In recent years, we've been sure to include more hip hop and blues and other things like that. We do stand-up comedy, we do small-scale theater performance, and so that's been it the whole time. And there have always been a really fundamental vein of community accessible events like open mics and jams. In the history of ātac and in booking, before I was the executive director, I worked in marketing and program development. And I had a number of managers reach out to me to say, my band wants to play at your center, and it's small and it's outside of Boston. And there were definitely some managers that were like, they insisted, and it's because they came into their musical careers through our open mics or our jams, and the space is really critically important to how they have grown and become a more popular musicians, which is just really that's very exciting to hear that, and to hear that kind of this small place out here in Framingham. So we know that those community events have been critical to people's development.
Right. Yeah, so you've actually seen the fruits of the labor of trying to bring people in and let people grow, and now they're coming back to sort of pay homage, I guess, to where they started. Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, so that's a little bit about the performances. What kind of exhibits then can we see in the different galleries that are available?
Yeah. So in the different galleries, we have a number of different things, I should say. So our stage gallery is smaller, and that's typically for solo shows where we do painting, photography, collage. We typically tend to focus on regional artists. It's really a way for us to provide people from our area a professional gallery space. Our upstairs gallery, which is larger, has typically been collaborative shows. So we have the Fountain Street artists present annually with us in that gallery. Framingham The Metro West Teachers Show is up there. We have an annual juried show that's open to everybody to submit. And so those tend to be more collaborative shows. We've done some sculpture, but we also do rentals in our venue. And so we tend to like to have things that are movable. And so we don't install too much sculptural work.
Right.
And then over in Exhibit A, we have a lot of contemporary, young and contemporary artists over there. So it's a lot of 2D work, some 3D, but anything from collage to photography to painting is what we tend to feature.
Right. So there's a lot of variety there for sure. How often do these exhibits tend to rotate through, or is it kind of random?
No, nothing is random. Nothing's random when you have to do all of that planning. So
right.
This is another example of things that will be changing in our post-COVID world. We used to have a staff member that did a lot of our curation, and it was definitely a special project of hers. And we had quite a robust rotation of exhibits. So they rotated about every 2 months.
Okay.
Moving forward, we're going to stretch that out a little bit and let our exhibits stay up longer. One, to accommodate potentially fewer people allowed in the building as regulations change,
Right.
and to give time for people to really come out and see them. So our in-house galleries, the stage and the gallery 160, will rotate about every 3 to 4 months. So that means that in the building we'll have 6 exhibitions per season.
Okay. All right. Still a lot of variety though, and still changing up quite frequently for people to come check out different exhibits.
Yes.
Right. Fair enough. And I guess sometimes it's nice to have it a little longer as well, because maybe with just 2 months, you don't always have a chance to get out to see it beforehand with us, with our, busy lives.
Yeah. And we will be open to the public shorter days than we were before the pandemic. And so we just want to make sure that all of the artists get enough time to send all of their people out to see the work.
Right, makes sense. Okay, well, great. Good to know that that's changing, and people can keep an eye out then for when things should be rotating. Awesome. Do you ever have any kind of? Oh, it's okay.
Okay.
Do you ever have any kind of interactive performance or exhibits or educational programs that the community and school can get involved in?
Not yet. We do, as far as interactive performances and exhibits, no. We have primarily, in recent years, we've primarily focused on, coming to a show, except for obviously all of our open mics and things like that.
Right.
But most of our shows are, you come and you sit there and you witness them.
All right. So yeah, we were just asking about interactive. Are there any interactive components then to ātac? So
the most interactive things that we have obviously is submissions. And so anybody can submit for a show. They can submit for any of our exhibitions, and then they're chosen by the staff and potentially jurors that we've brought in from outside. Classes and things like that we haven't run in recent years at this point. Framingham in the Metro West area has a lot to offer by way of creative classes and workshops and all of those things. And so really over the past few years, we've been trying to figure out where are we needed to do something different. And over the course of the pandemic, we have reached out to a lot of other nonprofit organizations, and we are really, this year, we will really be working toward coming up with programs that provide artistic and professional development to local artists, and we're particularly interested in job training programs. For those folks who are in the production world, production is my background. It's a highly transferable skill, managing a live event, managing something from start to finish. We also really want to help people develop their project. We've had a couple of people come to us and say, I have this idea for this storytelling show. Is there, is that something I could do at ātac? Can I rent the space? Could you help me figure out how to produce a show like this? And we've gotten a lot of satisfaction in providing the empowering support for people to have their ideas like come to reality. And we tend to run the whole space from the board down as a learning environment. And so now we just want to hone that into a place where we can be an asset to the community, and a different kind of resource.
Right. So yeah, I guess a lot of times people, they have these great ideas, but they just need that kind of guidance to get it to a show level, and you guys are offering that for them as well and hoping to do more. Okay.
Yes, and definitely hoping to do more. And it's, it can be really intimidating to think you don't know anything about production or live events or the arts in that way. And you think, oh, I wish I could see this thing in real life. And then you think, oh, I bet I could do that, but how, Right. And really reaching out to people that are warm and receptive to nurturing projects is something that we're really excited about.
Excellent. Awesome. Well, thanks so much. That's really good to hear. I'm sure anybody now in the area can be inspired to kind of take their art to the next level, because I think you just need somebody to tell you that you can, right?
Oh yeah.
Excellent. This might be a hard question, but do you have a personal favorite exhibit or show that's gone through ātac, or something that's really stood out for you?
Well, I will never answer a question like that, first of all.
That's totally fair.
But let me try.
Okay.
Of course, I don't have any total favorites, because that would be wholly unethical.
Right.
But I am a human being, and there are things that I love. And so I would say last fall we had a burlesque troupe come in from Boston.
Okay.
And we had never had anything like that. We weren't really sure how it would do. And it did really well, and it was really fun and funny, and we had a whole new audience come in and fill the space, and it was just a really wonderful, different kind of experience within the space. So I loved that. But truly, and this is true. The thing that I love the most is providing a platform that empowers artists to do their best work. And so, as much as, I have my own personal taste, but overall, the welcoming a band or a comedian or a playwright into the space and bringing them to our green room and letting them know what resources there are and telling them about the local restaurants and asking them what they need for the night and letting them know the timeline and all of those things that create this really safe and relaxed environment for somebody to just do their craft is extremely rewarding. And I love it when I have that opportunity. And that's really, that's the truest answer I could say of what's my favorite.
Right. That's an amazing answer, more than I expected, for sure. So thank you for that. That's lovely. So we do know things are a little bit complicated right now. Are there some virtual events and things available for people to check out while things are still normalizing, I guess we could say?
Yeah, actually. So we're doing virtual events. You can go to our website, ātac160.org, and you can see all of our upcoming programs. We're doing some in collaboration with other platforms, and then some are either pre-recorded or live virtual events, that happen at a particular time. All of our events to the end of our season in June are donation only. And that money goes to support the center. It also goes to support the artists directly. And that's happening till then. But in July, we are having our very first in-person event, which is a outdoor movie series. And we are super excited. You can come in your cars. There will be food trucks there. It's over on the other side of town at the Center Common. And we're showing a bunch of family classics like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, The Secret of Nim, Batman the Mask of the Phantasm, and The Iron Giant. And so I highly recommend everybody come out for that. We'll also have information about the upcoming season, which we are planning for September to be in person, and we will continue to stream all of our shows, both to accommodate folks who just don't feel comfortable coming out, but we will continue to do that in perpetuity because it's an accessibility issue. And if there are things that we've learned this year that are worth keeping, one of them is that we can change the way we do things to make sure more people have access. So we're really excited to be able to just continue to offer virtual tickets. And we're planning, a lot of our favorites will be back. And we're just incredibly excited to see people in the venue again. So definitely check out our summer movie series, Reels, Meals, and Automobiles. And then check out what we have planned for September on.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, we'll have links in the video description and in the blog that people can check out for social media and for the website, and they can keep an eye on that, and for the virtual events as well, just in case they're not in the area, or like you said, it's a little bit harder for them to come out for whatever reason. That's awesome. Yeah. All right, so is there any way for people to get involved in the center then as well, in kind of sort of a volunteer aspect or something along those lines?
Yes, there are a number of ways. So the main volunteer opportunity we have for people is during our show times. Our ushers and all of our refreshments folks are volunteers. It's a really great way to see the shows. You obviously get access to the shows, and it's a really great way to represent the overall community and meet people. So those are two major ways. If people have special skills, creative building skills, office skills, we're always interested in hearing about where people feel like they want to help out. And we also have, project-based days where we are cleaning through the whole venue or repainting certain things. And so those are organized involvement days. An immediate opportunity for helping as well before we are back back in business, is we are looking for folks to be on our auction committee for our upcoming fundraiser in October, which is Twisted Tales, which is a folktale inspired gala and a haunted house. So we are super excited about that. And we're also taking donations of your old Halloween decorations for the same event. So those are some immediate and more time sensitive opportunities to get involved. But overall, we're always looking for volunteers to help us with our day of show crew.
Right, that's awesome. Lots of ways to get involved, and lots of different talents, and different people can come in and help out and then be part of that smaller community within the community building community.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's awesome, Jannelle. Thanks so much. Just before we wrap it up, is there anything that I may have missed that you wanted to mention to everybody else? Something else to note about, I don't know, the center?
Yeah. Let me see. I mean, you're a great interviewer, and it's pretty comprehensive.
Thank you.
I think overall, what I really want people to know about ātac is that we are here for the community. So people that have creative ideas and they need a platform, people that are looking for, an institution to kind of drive their community effort, and even things you wouldn't expect. We do offer rental space, which is a revenue stream for us that helps us subsidize our other programs, but we also provide a really supportive space for you to host your own event or your awards ceremony for your organization or your own fundraiser. Or honestly, your wedding. It's a really cute space to have a small wedding, and I know those weddings are piled up. So overall, the thing is, we're here. We are a community resource, and we are eager to be of use.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Jannelle. That was really great. We learned a lot about the center today, a lot about how art is important to community, about how people can try to find their inspiration with your team, and that's really amazing. So definitely anybody in the area or a little bit further out, once things are back open, consider going and checking out ātac or checking it out virtually as well. Excellent. So for anybody watching, I hope you enjoyed this interview, and if you'd like to have an interview with us talking about your center, about a park you like, museums, anything, get in touch with us through social media or on our website, and we'll be happy to chat with you as well. Until next time.